realm of possibility. I don't know that the realm of possibility deals in such judgment words like we as living humans, do. Like we want to add that, oh, well, this is better or this is worse, instead of just like, I think in the realm of possibility, that quantum field, those kind of things probably just simply are. And it's only us that assigns, value to it.
Okay, I think that's a good topic. We just dove into the topic for September.
I didn't mean for us to start recording that, though.
But we have. So here we are.
Hello, listeners.
Welcome.
Welcome, friends and family.
Welcome to our September episode of Thoughts Explored, also known as We Fall Asleep.
Formerly known as.
I always have to add that because we started out as one, and then I thought to rename it, but But so anyway, here we are.
Some of our listeners know us
yes.
as We Fall Asleep.
Yes. So what Lex was talking about, because I always say, okay, what topic should we talk about? And typically, I will generate a topic, and on this episode, Lex started out with a topic. So, I think discussing. I mean, I think you should take the lead on it.
Yeah. Well, I was just reminded that, and I think we've talked about this before in other podcasts, but the power of the language and the words that we use, and how that shapes the manifestations. Like, for instance, there are things that are better or worse. I like crab more than I like, trout. I think crab is better than trout. That's just my sort of adding that little flavor in there. But I'm trying to not use but.
I know.
As part of that language, because it sort of is a negating thing. I lost my train.
I don't know.
Well,
I think it was more along the lines of when you're the value judgments are placed on us as humans.
By humans,
words,
yeah, by other people.
But words are judged to be, I think that's what you said.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's just sorry, people. This is a little bit rambling here. I think my thought was just that it's always good to remind ourselves that when you add that seasoning or that color, that tint to your language with value words like better, worse, good, bad, it's not necessarily the best thing that we can do for accentuating and building and keeping up our imagination.
Correct.
We sort of trim it back.
I see what you're saying.
We stunt our imagination sometimes, I think, by being too quick to add good or bad, or dark or light, or that kind of thing is very limiting. It's either this or it's this.
Right.
But
that's not how it is.
No.
How it is that there's a spectrum.
And it's not very good for our imagination.
Right. I think it's the same thing like when you're trying to generate ideas, and before the idea is out of your mouth, there is somebody else that has already decided that that's not a good idea. And so when you do brainstorming sessions, that's the first rule, is that anything goes. However, I feel like how we are in society right now, even though if you say anything can go, you could just say the wildest thing, we have a hard time coming up with those things because we've been so, the lid has been put on a lot of things.
Stunted.
Yeah, to say that. So
the growth of our imagination has been.
Yeah. So I agree with that. I mean, value judgments on certain on anything, I think is limiting and difficult to.
Well, it kind of makes it difficult to see beyond.
Yeah.
So that's any other thoughts on that with the use of language?
I think the use of language is so, I- I always say that it starts with a thought form, and then the thought
Mm-hmm.
form is then fueled by inspired actions. And so, to me, a thought form at some point becomes a spoken word, and so words are very powerful. Words are very impactful, um, and how we use them in language is very, I think, very important. I think that's also, if we just go to present day, why it's so disturbing about how language is being used right now in current time. It's when you're act, actively, I mean, when you're calling people, um, I just will take, we were talking about it a couple days ago, illegal. Like, nobody's illegal. Everybody has a right to be here.
Right.
you know,
But that using that term just automatically flavors the whole,
L-
adds a twist
like
to it.
an illegal person, an illegal alien, making it even worse. Like, it's not even like this person isn't even from this world, an alien. And obviously this is language that we use when we're talking about. Well, I don't use it, but some people in
Hmm.
society use it when they're talking about immigrants, people that come in from different countries. Um,
It definitely is used to create an emotion around it. It's not a fact. It's used to create a highly charged emotion around that kind of thing.
so I think that, I mean, I'm just trying to tie it back to what you said originally. So I could see people have a negative, definitely. I think most people have a negative connotation to illegal. And certainly alien isn't one thing that people are like running and embracing either. So those are words that certainly do have judgments attached to them. Um, and I don't think they're in a
Right,
good
and
way.
they're used specifically to sway, to to elicit a response to the listener's ears, to sway an emotional and a negative
So I don't know if
connotation.
that's where you had originally, what you were originally thinking about when we opened up
Well,
the recording and you didn't know we were recording.
caught me off guard. It's happened before where you've caught me off guard. No, I think my original thought was just about for our own self and our own usage of words to help or hinder our manifestation of what we want.
I see.
That's really what,
Not really on a global.
well, but it does tie in. I mean, it definitely,
Yeah.
because in your instance there with illegal, it is used to sway, the listener to believe that that is something
Bad.
bad. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that definitely is a an offshoot of that.
So can you give me an example of like what you're thinking about when that
Oh,
with that
well, for
thought?
my own self,
Yeah.
and what initially brought this up was sometimes I wake up and I'm in a lot of pain in my spine.
Mm-hmm.
And some days it's fine, and sometimes it's really bad. And this morning it was very uncomfortable, and it took me a while. But all the way through, I was remembering that my sense of wellness and health is always present, and this is just a glitch, as it were, in my spine.
Mm.
But that
Yeah.
really helps me kind of continue going about my day, going about
Taking
my errands.
taking your inspired
Yeah,
actions
taking my inspired actions to
toward a
stretch,
better
to take,
feeling. Yeah.
because I know that better feeling within half an hour or 40 minutes is going to be fully with me.
And I would call that, and how I think about it, I would call that adjusting your vibration. Yeah. From one stage to another, that elevating it.
Yeah, and
Certainly.
not resisting so much.
Yeah. Because that, I think, compounds
the state of being in pain.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
So that's kind of what was happening for me this morning, that I was thinking about.
That's a great example.
Even not spoken out loud, but in my own mind.
Yeah.
Concentrating and thinking about deep breaths, and that my sense of wholeness is already there.
Yeah.
And not getting caught up in the fact that I was just a little bit slower and pained this morning in my.
Yeah. I think
it's just a moment in time.
I think that's a really good example, to keep going in the direction that you want to go.
Yeah.
Instead of being kind of
bogged down,
stifled by it.
Yep.
Yeah. Good. Okay, that's
and
great.
I think that it really doesn't have to be words that are spoken out loud.
No.
I mean, so much of what we do to help ourselves or hinder ourselves all the time is the inside chatter and the inside words that we use about anything.
On and on.
Oh my God, complaining about this terrible traffic or something. And it's like, well, it is what it is. So let's just move along and say, acknowledge. I think it's fair to acknowledge that this is a nuisance, or whatever. But then to not get bogged down in even the language that we're using in our own brain to think about it.
Okay.
I
think that's good.
Is that okay?
I'm
not used to kicking off these podcasts, so Chris is much better at such a thing.
I don't think I am. I just kind of wing it, and then we have a finished product.
And this is what I really enjoy about our conversations, Chris, is because this is exactly how our conversations always sort of unfold, and they sometimes take a little bit of a meandering path, but that's the fun of it, right?
Like, bring it in.
Yep.
Okay. I think that's good. I don't have anything else to add to it. So thank you for providing our topic for this month.
Yes, it was
your
fun.
Birthday month.
My birthday month, yes.
Looking forward to celebrating that.
My birthday occurs on the day of autumn this year, September 22nd. So that's always kind of special when autumn comes at the same time my birthday does.
All right. So we will see you all in October.
Yes.
And we'll talk about the birthday celebration, I think.
Have good cheer, everybody.
Stay well.
Bye-bye.
Love. And be good to each other.